Hey everybody, good morning to each and every one of you. Welcome to Christ Over Coffee. My name is Andrew Dixon, and I would like to welcome you to this very special episode this morning entitled Embracing God's Love. Today, we're excited to bring to you our very own SSpS AP sisters, or as we lovingly refer to them as our pink sisters. It's amazing to have them on today to kind of show you another part of the Arnolds family that we haven't been able to introduce you to before, just because of time and just scheduling issues. But we're so happy to have them on today. And we're looking forward to introducing you to them and vice versa. Now, Sister Rosalia is just going to stop by for a brief moment today because she's actually in California right now assisting our vocation director, Sister Scholastica Wea, who you've met before on the broadcast. But that's okay because we know that wherever they are talking about what we're going to be talking about today and what we talk about all the time, vocation, answering, hearing, receiving God's call. And so, without further ado, let's get to it. And so, sisters, I see that your video conferencing is all set up. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
We're okay. Okay, now you see all three of us?
It's totally fine. Everything's all good. Thank you, though, for joining us today. And as I put my coffee down, I just have a couple questions for you this morning, and I hope that we can share with the audience exactly who you are and what you do and really dive deep into this new series this year, The Call. Without further ado, sisters, if you would, please introduce yourselves to the audience this morning.
Andrew, I'm Sister Mara Matrix here. I'm Sister Mary Triana.
Sister Mary Angela.
Hi, sister. Good morning. Nice
Good
meeting you.
morning.
Thank you for joining us this morning. It's really honor for us to have you first time to be on the broadcast for Christ Over Coffee. So we are really grateful for your presence. So thank you very much. Andrew, back to you.
Awesome. And so this year, as we look to this new series entitled The Call, in which we seek to go deeper into what exactly it means to become a religious, get to those really deep questions of, what does this whole journey look like from start when you sense God calling you until the day you finally say yes to God's call. Or, as we have learned in previous seasons, that sometimes that yes isn't a yes, that sometimes the answer at the end is a no or maybe even a maybe later kind of conversation. With that being said, for you three, when did you sense God was calling you to religious life?
For me, it was still when I was in high school. When I was in high school, because I came from Catholic school, and so actually on my first year in high school, and so of course those vocation months helps me a lot on that, and because we always have different congregations to come to our school for their promotion, for vocation promotions. And so that was where it started.
I heard the call when I was 9 years old. But when I was in high school, I was already going out and everything. So I did not have any more the call. And then when I was in college, I was with the Maryknoll Fathers. the chaplain of our school was a Maryknoll father, and we would always be talking with him, conversing with him, and I wanted to join the Maryknoll sisters, but because I came from the Philippines, and I was told to go to New York. I said no, I cannot leave my family behind because I was so close to them. And so I tried to run away from the vocation, but the call of the Lord was so intense that yeah, I was but this time it was not the Maryknoll sisters that I got involved with. It was the Pink sisters.
I think mine started when I was 17, I think, but I ignored it because I had other plans. But then later on in life, my sister-in-law had an aunt who belonged to the Legion of Mary. And somehow I joined the Legion of Mary. And you know how it is when Our Lady ropes you in, you're in there. So, and we used to have retreats every year. And of course, we went to different monasteries, and I could also observe other sisters. And it came to me again, and it was stronger. So I thought I'd give it a shot. So then, and besides, the funny thing is, when I was younger, we used to live near the convent of the Pink Sisters in Baguio in the Philippines. And I was thinking to myself, if ever I become a sister, not this congregation, but the Lord had other plans. So anyway, joining the Legion of Mary, I asked a priest for advice because I couldn't decide whether to join an active or contemplative order. And besides, the one time I was traveling and I happened to be reading, I think, Catholic Digest, and there was an article there of Saint Teresa of Avila. I got so attracted. So anyway, this priest told me to make a weekend discernment retreat. And it so happened where I went on retreat, they had a brochure of the Pink Sisters. So that was it. So I called the sister here in Philadelphia then.
I think there's something to be said in the longevity that you're very sure at this point that God indeed has called you to this life, right? And so once you were sure that God was calling you to serve as a cloistered sister, how did your family react? What did your parents have to say? How about your friends? Did anyone try to convince you otherwise to join? And if so, what did that look like for you personally?
My family, everyone was against it. They were not really supporting me at first because I am the youngest and they could not let go. But then I told them, but if it's God's call, I cannot anymore. Even if I want to run away from the call, the vocation, but if it's God's call, I can't do anything anymore because it was so strong, His call. So they couldn't do anything also, but they started crying. They, even if I was already professed around 10 years ago, they would like to take me out of the convent. So that's my experience with my family. But now they are so supporting me now. Yeah.
Actually, that's one of all the struggles of the candidates. Those who are really entering their religious life or any vocation, religious vocation, because I think all of the families are really against on it. For me, I did tell them that I have the inclination of joining the religious life, But then I did not tell them directly that I'm entering and what congregation. Only when I received the acceptance from the Pink Sister that I told my closest aunt of mine and my cousin, and then they were the one who told my family. And then my father called up from the office, telling me how come that's the news is like that you're entering. Yes, I am. He said, well, how come you did not tell me directly? Oh, I know you'll be against it. Yes, they said you have to go home and we have to talk about it. And so, of course, I have to go home. But then I told them before hanging up, I told him that you have to also to respect my decision of joining, because in any vocation, anyway, in any vocation that I will enter, is it single, whether it's single, married, or religious life, it's our own choice, it's our own decision, and that my decision would be that joining the religious life. At first, they are really against, even though I had my first profession, and some of my siblings, we had only a reconciliation during my final profession.
When I first told my mother, she said, "You?" Well, I probably had a reputation with her anyway. So I said yes, and then I said, but you said, oh, you can get married to anybody. Well, I said, I'm going to be married to Jesus. Mm-hmm. And she said, I don't know. She was probably just fooling me. She said, but then he will have many wives. No, I said, that's different. That's different. So anyway, they I was always, even at 4 years old, they already said I had a mind of my own. So they couldn't do anything, but they tried to stop it because I was in Canada and I had to come back to the Philippines because I had trouble getting a visa for the States. So, and when I went home, I was quite sickly. And so they, with my sinuses, so they said, oh, you better have a surgery. So anyway, I told the superior in the Baguio convent then, and she said, well, they already set a date for me, and it was the date of the beatification of Father Arnold and the Supernadimus. So the superior said, either you enter now or never. So I said, yes, I'm coming. So anyway, my father thought maybe he wouldn't see me again, and he cried because that is like I was going to be dead. But anyway, when they first came for the first visit, and my mother saw how happy I was, she told me later on, oh, I can see how happy you are there. So
may I share one thing? May I share? As Sister said, all the families would be against our entrance. So we have a new candidate. We have aspirant now, new one, and actually the parents, especially the mother, would always be crying. She's having a hard time. And then when we had our reading this morning about Mother Mary Michael, and then I said, what would you share about the book that she was reading? And then she said, the mother of Mother Mary Michael at first did not allow her to go inside the convent. And then we both laughed because she said, sounds familiar, because she also is experiencing now what Mother Mary Michael had experienced before with the mother.
Thank you so much for being open, because I can say for myself, being a parent, that would be a very scary conversation to have. And please don't get me wrong. I actually think that it's a very noble and worthwhile call. So if God was calling our children to religious life, I wouldn't be upset about that at all. I can say for myself, I would be very nervous because I know I wouldn't be able to have the access to them like I have now. So thank you so much for sharing it from your perspective. This helps us kind of brings us full circle, right? Because we've had, of course, our SSpS sisters, and we've had our SBD priest brothers, and so now it's amazing to finally have our pink sisters represented on the broadcast. And so thank you so much. And then our last question for today, is there anything that you would like to say to the young people as they discern whether God is calling them to religious life or in some other vocation, as you said, sister? You know, is it being single? Is it being married? What does this life look like? What does this journey look like for them? And so if you have any words of encouragement, that would be awesome. So please take it away.
For me, it's just like, you have to follow what God's will. What is the Holy Spirit is telling you. If the Lord is telling you, if the Lord is calling you, then go for it, and not you have to regret. Yeah. That's what I think. You follow the decision, the discernment is most important, and your decision and commitment to follow Christ, no matter how. Even though there are a lot of discouragement, a lot of parents are against it, and especially the transition of the world, the world now. It's a matter of really commitment on yourself, surrendering yourself to the service of the Lord and the church.
Do not procrastinate when they already hear the call. It's not the hearing is not the how do you call that one? It might be in your heart, in your mind, but when God speaks to you directly, not really personally, like a vision, it might be just inspiration. Go and try to be open to the Lord's calling, and have a change of heart. Metanoia, it means going beyond your mind of the world, and try to focus on the spiritual life, and give more time to the Lord. And perhaps you can stay in the church for a while, or have somebody, spiritual director, to talk with you, and at least to guide you on how to be open to the calling of the Holy Spirit.
Well, St. Augustine says, our hearts are restless, Lord, until they rest in you. And I believe, whether we know it or not, we are all plagued with that restlessness of heart. And I would ask the young people, you give time to the things that you're very interested in, and why not give time to somebody who really is truly interested in you? The Lord is waiting for you. He wants your own happiness. It's not that maybe He calls you to a religious life, maybe He calls you to another life, but all in the end, we'll be happiest when we fulfill His will for us. So I would say, give it a go. What's the harm in trying? If you feel the Lord is calling you, well, then pursue that and see, because the Lord is full of surprises. That's all I can say, and we'll pray for all of you so that you may know God's happiness, you may know His will for your life, which is the most important, the most what really matters. God's will is what really matters. It will make you really, truly, deeply happy.
And if this is your first time joining our broadcast, we have some information that we would like to share with you. If you feel like after what you've heard that God is calling you to religious life, we hope that you would give us a call at 847-441-0126. Also, feel free to visit our website today to get even more information about the Holy Spirit Missionary Sisters. We can be found online at www.SSpS-usa.org. From there, you can also click our links to our social media. And just in case you don't know already, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can follow us at these various locations down below me. And all we ask is that you would like, comment, and share the wonderful posts of encouragement that we give out each and every week, as well as news regarding different happenings at the Convent of the Holy Spirit right here in Northfield, Illinois. It's always such a joy to have you all on the broadcast each and every time we can come together. And until next time, remember, we're going to be walking this life one sip at a time. Thank you all so much for joining us. May God bless you and your families. Take care, and may you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.